It is morning where we are.
It's afternoon here where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
We are the Figment Collective, I've been told.
This is not,
I don't function without like seven cups of coffee and or like the big can of NOS. That's just how we are now. I'd hate that I said we. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a somewhat functional and happy Sunday.
Yeah. Is opening a can of NOS now a new term we can apply?
Don't.
For kicking butt?
Don't.
Oh my god.
God damn it, Zarin. Anyway, this morning we're chilling, we're talking. If anybody has questions, feel free to throw them into the chat, and we will do our best to answer them.
But yeah. We got a few topics to cover. We got some stuff happening in the gaming community. We got stuff going on. Yeah, we got stuff going on that may impact what we do, how we do it. So, but we're also seeing how that rolls out and seeing what sort of collective decision we want to come to regarding all that good stuff. So,
but
yes,
because we always come to collective decisions. No one person makes a decision in this fucking group.
No,
that's right.
I've been told this is in fact a democracy and not a cult, which is the reason I stayed.
Oh my god.
We lied though.
I know.
We totally did.
For you.
But
thank you.
I think
we're not an eldritch cult. This is how we start our meetings, if anybody's curious.
Yes.
The ritual has been completed.
Thank you, Milo. Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Az. That's everybody
should introduce ourselves.
I remembered to introduce myself. Look at me. Yeah. I did. I've gone back in our videos. I'm like, all right, I introduced everybody but me. Everyone but me.
That's it. Yeah. That's Az, by the way.
Hi.
I know I'm gesturing this way because that's where they happen to be in my Discord call. So
I just actually live in Discord.
Let's move on to Milo. Milo, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Milo. I am not playing a character today because we are not playing a game today. We are sitting and talking. So I am just Milo. Hello.
Hi.
And M is just below me,
so... Hi! You're hearing a little voice in the background this entire time.
The entity.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Star Stories, or M. I'm perpetually exhausted pigeon. I'm still technically in cosplay because we just ended recording a series that releases on January 20th on the Cantrip Cast on YouTube. I'm just here. I am just here.
Yes, of course. For anyone, of course, that comes by our Twitch channel, we have some lovely suggestions in our Twitch profile for all folks to go check out those contents. Beggar Street, Starfield, Cantrip Cast, all sorts of cool stuff going on over there. So make sure you check them out. So
yeah.
But for us,
speaking of, the Are We Dead Yet epilogues start premiering in 2 hours.
Love it.
With Huddy, who we love Huddy.
Yes.
All love Huddy.
And for those who may be unfamiliar, Are We Dead Yet is a Thin Blood Chronicle that our lovely
It's a
Az
Thin
was a
Blood
portion
Chronicle set in the... Hold on, no, Did you introduce yourself yet, 3LC?
No, that's what I was about to say.
Hi.
You don't get to skip you. I had to say my name and say things from my face.
Exactly. Hi, everyone. I am 3LC, also Third Life Crisis, and I'm just a... Yes, here's things... Here's me saying things. Go ahead, Az.
Thank you for the permission.
Welcome.
So... Anyway, yeah, it's World of Darkness, which is one of the games that, we as the collective play, and we play little one-shots in our community for that, or little chronicles that are set. We also have Milo's lovely Changeling the Lost Chronicle, which is also set in World of Darkness, which is a whole set. I'm not awake, so I'm trying to form coherent sentences to explain this.
What?
A whole set of different splats set in the World of Darkness universe, which is our world, but darker, where the supernatural beings of the world run in the background. They are the shadow agencies. That was a La Sombra joke. But yeah, we play in that chronicle. We're playing Thin Bloods, who are basically the heralds of Gehenna. Not the Changeling Lost.
The Changeling Lost were playing as Changeling or Fey-touched creatures. We went back. We jumped back a little bit.
This is why we have each other.
No, we are totally playing Thin Bloods in a Changeling Chronicle. We should do that.
You know what? That would be terrible. You saw what happened to Theo. No, hold on. No, we're gonna recollect our thoughts.
Yes. But Are We Dead Yet?
And Are We Dead Yet is set in the World of Darkness. Play Thin Bloods, which are heralds of Gehenna, which is basically the end of kindred society. And kindred are what vampires call themselves in this universe. And basically, you're not really a vampire, but you're not really human, but you are, in fact, dead. And it's coming to terms with that. It's been a blast. I'm very excited to see where that goes.
Absolutely. It's been a very fun series. Please go check it out. It's available on Huddy's YouTube channel. So I'm totally happy to mention that here. Also, she
go get the coffee.
I think she walked away, but I was going to mention that Star Stories has been part of a wonderful series of Twin Cities by Night over on one of our channels over on Beggar Street. It's been a fantastic series. Highly recommend watching.
We just wrapped up season 1. We're doing a bite back episode Monday, which is talking about, because I was the only person at that table who has ever played Vampire the Masquerade, including the storyteller.
Dyson also did a fantastic job.
So I think also we are going to discuss what we're doing for season 2 and what we are playing at the end of the episode, because we're bringing in a whole new set of kindred into Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Nice.
Minnesota.
That sounds about right, geographically speaking.
Geography.
Geography is bullshit, and I almost said several things that we keep as inside thoughts. I have questions. If anybody knows the wizard who controls both time and space, hit me up. We can talk price. But for
go ahead. Sorry.
For the World of Darkness system, it's based on dice pools. So you have social, mental, and physical skills. Those are your attributes, and then you have actual skills. And basically, how the dice system works is you build a dice pool, and it's based on your successes against what you're rolling for. So something has a difficulty of, say, 4, and you have a dice pool of 6 and roll 4. Hey, you did it!
It's a D10s, and you have to get 6 or higher to get a success, or a 5 and below is failure. Absolutely no successes is a bust, unless with vampire it's little fang face, the bestial failure, and then 2 10s are critical. And if you get a 10 on a hunger and a 10 on a normal, it's a messy critical, and even though you succeed potentially, bad things still happen.
Yes, because in V5, which is the game we play, which is the most recent version of Vampire, you have your hunger die, which is basically a pool of 5 die. Depending on how hungry you get, you have to replace certain die in your pool with your hunger die. That means you can't re-roll them, because you do have this mechanic called willpower, in which you can roll your normal dice again by burning one of those willpower. Now, willpower is important, because willpower pool is how you deal with things like a bestial failure where you go into a frenzy. And, well, bad things happen when you're hangry and a vampire.
Heck yeah. Things
It
associated.
hurt my own feelings.
Yes. That's very true. Vampire, especially, I know that V5 has received its fair share of, knocks in the community, but quite frankly, I think it's a pretty slick system overall, and that is no shade, of course, on any previous editions. We don't edition shame here. We don't do that.
We don't shame. I was not built with that emotion, so
everybody gets to play what they want. If they like revised or V20 or what have you, go for it and enjoy it. But yeah, what we do here on this channel, of course, unless anything crazy happens, is the system that Az was just referring to.
We also play it wrong, according to some people. But basically, here's the thing. For any gaming group that you get together and you all collectively decide, like, hey, I like how this works. Can we play it that way? Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Roll cool, as long as everybody's on board with it and everybody's having a good time.
Exactly.
Why not?
Credits. Roll credits. Yep. Hello, Miss Liz.
My wife! Hi, wife!
Hello. But
So,
yes.
Yeah, no. Because there's nothing saying that you can't update. Milo! Kate, for Changing the Lost,
Yep.
she took and went, hey, I'm not exactly sure I'm good with how Changing the Lost works in the book with the dice system, because it's very much like V20.
Mm-hmm.
And she has revised the entire thing. She's also made up several different kits and contracts, which you might want to explain that, because I know what I'm talking about, but realize that I have not said anything to the universe, Milo. With Changing the Lost.
Which is another game that we host here on the Collective and also on our YouTube channel.
R.I.P. Derek.
We will be doing season 2 of that probably relatively soon as well. And I did make a bunch of, like, I took the core rule book and went, okay, how can we make this more familiar? So I took some examples from V5. So instead of having to spend like a glamour point, instead of spending that glamour, you roll for it the way you would hunger. So it just kind of reflects it a little bit more. And yes, I made several kiths. I've made many true fae. I've altered lore, however, because I use a mix of actual folklore that I found, as well as what's already in the supplements. And I have... Yes?
Oh, I just wanted to make a quick note for anyone who happens to watch us, and just in case they aren't familiar, Changeling the Lost and its co-game Changeling the Dreaming are part of the Chronicles of Darkness. So
Changeling the Dreaming is part of World of Darkness.
World of Darkness, sorry. Changeling.
Yeah.
The Lost
Dreaming's
is Chronicles
World of Darkness,
right?
Lost is Chronicles of Darkness.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. But they're part of those particular universes, just for folks.
They are different, but we have slightly modified it so that many of the... we have what's called the Figment universe, and we combined a lot of our games. So my Changeling the Lost, despite being a Chronicle of Darkness, is kind of involved in our World of Darkness stuff, as Sim or Simon, 3LC's Fire Elemental character, does know my Gangrel kindred Milo. And has her as a contact, which was a fucking mistake, but it's fine. She's strong. It's
Decisions were made, and thankfully the sun exists. So
you only call her at night, but she'll be there. Barely understanding what she's doing, but she's gonna try her best, because it'll be fine. I'm sure this will be fine.
Yeah.
And nothing can go wrong.
Oh no, it all went wrong.
Well, we play test some things. So, like, before deciding it was a good idea to combine these two systems, 3LC and I did do a sample combat and a couple of other things just to see how they would mesh together.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that it would work, and went ahead with it. So, yeah.
Because there are the different levels, like doing a kitchen sink game. We're going to explain that. A kitchen sink game is where you combine all of the splats together, which can be very messy, because basically Kindred control a street Lupine's werewolves are trying to save the world, and mages dictate how the world works based on the consensus of everything. They are very, very differently powered because...
Hi. I play in a kitchen sink game.
Yeah.
So with kitchen sink games, so like Vampire 20, Werewolf 20, Changeling 20, Mage 20, and Hunter 2nd edition, they're all different mechanics in every single different book of how you do things, and it makes it very hard because the storyteller needs to know all of those mechanics. A lot of kitchen sink games tend to streamline the mechanics into more of a simplified version. But here's the thing. Changeling and vampires should not be around each other because of banality. Changeling and mages shouldn't be around each other because they can use each other like batteries. It's a whole mess. It is an absolute mess, and it's very difficult.
The binality thing is dreaming. There is nothing in Lost about the binality, which is why I combined. That's why I combined my Lost game with the vampires, because you don't need to worry about binality in the Lost.
It is easier to do a kitchen sink game in Chronicles of Darkness than it is in World of Darkness, because most of Chronicle of Darkness mechanics and everything are all streamlined, which I think V5 and Werewolf 5 and Hunter 5 took inspiration from Chronicle of Darkness mechanics.
Yep, absolutely.
But they are all on different power levels, and therefore if you have different players doing different things, it can cause some issues because of basically one player being able to go, hey, fuck you, and mechanics-wise, it's in their favor.
Yeah, True enough.
So I definitely don't recommend kitchen sink games unless you're super familiar with everything. Or are all learning together, but still that's iffy.
And
I would not suggest if you're learning.
You shouldn't.
If that's a good point brought up by both is good. Obviously good session zeros, good check-ins regularly with your players. Things like that to make sure things are going along smoothly, because as we all know, you can definitely hit bumps in the road with anything that you run or play in. So,
guess what we have? Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? You use your words and you talk.
Happens to us too, people. As professional as we may seem, we have definitely had.
Professional. I just haven't figured out at what yet, so I'm still working on that. But yeah, no. When there's bumps in the road, like you stop, you take a second, like because that's the point. Is we're getting together to have a fun game. That's the main point of gaming. Is sitting there and being like, hey, we're having fun. We're having a good time playing this game together, making these stories together. And at the end of the day, that's what gaming is supposed to be about. It's about having fun with your friends.
For sure.
With the story that you all are making together, because everybody at the table is a player, even the person running the game. Everybody's enjoyment is important.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, real life always comes first.
Yes. Always.
Because even though a lot of us, I'm calling myself out here, but I'm just going to put that right. Some of us use gaming as an escape from real life, but real life always comes first. You need to deal with real life first. The games will always be there afterwards, because there is nothing worse than putting off what needs to happen and what you need to do in order to do this, because that brings it into the game.
Yes.
And you don't want to ruin something you're supposed to be having fun with.
Precisely.
By taking it somewhere it shouldn't go.
Yep.
Should we talk about future projects?
Absolutely.
Yes. We can. So, as Milo was saying, she is working on our Changeling Chronicle 2. Which is upcoming once we get some contracts sorted out. Once we figure out some updates, because spoiler alert for Chronicle 1, my character died.
My sandwich boy. He's gone.
And that's so before that's something that is also a good topic to talk about on how to handle character death and the potential of player characters dying in games. But let's we can get to that later.
If you want, we can talk about that now. But it is an upcoming thing. Is having to talk about introducing a new character and getting getting their contracts. I'm so excited.
To talk to items. Items are traumatized. It's fine.
I'm so excited. But yeah, and that's one of the things. Is character death should mean something. It's one of those things where, like, in some systems, there's a way to get a character back quite easily, but you want it to mean something, because a lot of us take, and when we make characters, we put a lot of time, effort, and ourselves, like, that energy into making this person. So you want to see things happen. TPKs happen. We haven't had one in a very long time, but thankfully. Thankfully.
But yes,
it was pretty close there for a second.
But yeah,
but like,
and
you want those to mean something. You want there to be stakes.
That's an excellent point. Yeah,
Derek's death was handled, at least for me particularly, as I had done several different types of roles for the allies, in which, because it was a big fight, and I had done several roles for the various allies of the Changeling, and they had failed a little bit. So I knew that there was going to be consequences, and that there was going to be at least FPC death. People that they knew, people that they cared about. But I also ultimately told everybody that your characters are going to affect the outcomes. Your characters are going to affect which characters may or may not die. And when discussing this, we discovered that the character of Derek was going to put himself in danger. And so I said, hey, if you do that, there's a possibility being it's going to happen, that Derek will die. Are you okay with that? And I allowed, as said, give me a minute, give me some time. I'll think about it. And she came back and said, you know what? I am okay with this. If this is what ends up happening, because I was like, if other players do other things, there still might be the possibility that Derek will be okay. And there was a hot minute where I thought I was going to have to turn to 3LC and be like, okay, so how attached to Sim are you? Because of the way it started to go, I was like, oh no. But that is something I did talk to everybody about.
Hair just going.
Yeah.
You leave Zara alone. You leave her alone. You leave her alone. She is a good noodle. Sandcastles. We make sandcastles.
As it is one of those things that some people, if they have the option of not, or if they weren't aware, hey, this was really dangerous, this was going to ultimately lead to a death, I do like to give my players a heads up for that, as a, hey, just so you know, this is probably going to be the result if that is the course of action your character wishes to take.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we did.
It should be very serious.
It was. You did. You brought up, if you do this, there's a possibility it's going to happen that Derek will die. And I was like, okay, so can we talk a little bit about what the exact circumstances are? And he went, yeah, here's the situation. I was like, okay. And so we sat on your porch talking for a while. And then I made you cry.
Yeah.
And then we ugly sobbed on stream. And then we ugly sobbed on stream.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, no, and I was like, no, that's how Derek, as a character, Derek wanted everybody to be safe. Like, had he not died, what he was going to do was start helping bring in changeling that had escaped Arcadia and helping them. Like, that's what he wanted to do, because he remembers Reed helping him, and he knows that he can take a bite. And so, but that was
yeah.
We were all on board. Like, if you actually watch the stream, you can see the moment where M realizes what's happening, and then 3LC realizes what's happening.
Yep.
You can also see the look of panic on my face when Simma's like, yeah, I'm standing next to Nova, and I was like, oh god.
And you can also see me looking at Milo as she's like, I'm like, it's okay, we talked about this, and she's like,
can we also say that Milo made a playlist for this, and literally the playlist as Derek is dying, the last note that was on the last song was when Derek died, and I just about died. I cried.
Timing.
So
hard.
I planned it really well. You did pick that song.
But yes, wonderful cinematic and thematic themes going through all this game, and it was wonderful. Thank you, of course, Milo, and everybody else who's playing in this game. It's wonderful, and just remind our viewers and anyone who's watching. Of course, this is all available on our YouTube channel, which is linked in our Twitch. If you ever get the time, go watch them. They're fantastic stories, for sure. And just as a reminder, Milo reminds everyone watching this when you're starting, especially Changeling, but it is a customized system.
It is a heavily modified.
Yep.
Many of the things that you see in that game, Milo made.
Yep.
They're not in the books. They're not anywhere. Milo made most of it.
Yep.
And then converted it to the system.
Yep. Fantastic effort. Wonderful job. And it's been an absolute blast.
I still have all the messages when you first started that of, I have an idea. Okay, this is how we're going to make this work. Are you busy? Let's see if these rolls work.
And as a side note,
things out.
Yeah. As a side note, in addition, since we're on the topic of Changeling, Em also hosts Changeling Bristol Lost.
Yep. I do it by the book.
Yeah. Which is totally fine. Second edition Changeling, correct? First edition Changeling, sorry. Okay.
Because I don't like how second edition is set up for a lot of the kits and seemings. I do not like what they did with it.
Okay.
They tanked a lot of them.
They tanked a lot
and made them universal. So like you can have a seeming, you can either have the Ferris or the Darkling seeming and be a Night Singer rather than, a Darkling that's a Night Singer.
Yeah.
It's I didn't like it either. I agree wholeheartedly with them.
There's some really cool things that are in second edition, like some of the contracts and some of the tokens and some of the merits are really cool in second edition, which I did transfer over for our first edition. But yeah, I do more kind of my chronicle because all my players are brand new. This is the hand-holding chronicle, so in each and every episode they learn a different new mechanic, so it's not all thrown at them at once. We are getting near the end of our first chronicle. After this Monday, we have 7 episodes left.
Okay. And of course, that's all available on the Starfield YouTube.
We always forget this. These are all maturely themed games. If you're not 18, then you're 12.
Yes.
They all have very dark themes because whereas I've found a majority of other people grew up with fairy tales that are very much Disney based, I did not grow up with those. I grew up with what is essentially what Changeling brought in.
Yes. Yeah. So Changeling the Lost is the darkest parts of the fairy tales. It is the one where the wolf gets 18 plus stream. Before trigger warnings, I'm just going to state that before I start talking about fairy tales. It's the one where the wolf gets gutted and his belly filled with stones and dumped in the river. Yep. It's the one where, Belle goes back to talk to her sisters after the prince proposes to her when she lifts his curse and they drown her in the tub. That is what Changeling the Lost is.
Yeah.
It is the one where the fairy's heart is pierced by the bramble thorns and she becomes the bramble thorns that slowly eats the starlings. These are the stories that I got told as a young child going to bed, and I hope that makes me have more sense as just a person.
So yeah, it's 18 plus. They cover some very, very dark things. Now, all of the games, World of Darkness, Chronicles of Darkness, cover very heavy topics.
Yes.
They are not really intended for children in any way. But yeah, Changeling the Lost is is definitely the darker of the two between Dreaming and Lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is, of course, a wonderful game and a wonderful show that we host here on this channel. And please check it out if you have time. And I think you'll be very, very, very pleased.
And check out Chronicle 2, where I get to bring in my little gremlin.
Yes. But other things. Oh, yes. Zigzag. Other things on the horizon. Other things on the horizon for the TFC, though. Well, we are several episodes into our Spelljammer story that we're doing. But as a lot of people, of course, are aware in the gaming community,
some things are going on with Dungeons and Dragons right now, so we might not be streaming that anymore.
Yes.
This is the
about
discussion.
it.
We're not talking about it, but we not be streaming that anymore. But we will give it an announcement once we come to a decision about that.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the things we're talking about. Is there's so many different systems out there. Like we just finished up. It only took us 3 years because we only played it once a year on Halloween.
Yep.
It's actually a holiday. Anyway, on Halloween. So we just actually wrapped that up, and we are moving that to the Tremulous system, which is powered by the Apocalypse. If I
You
remember
did not
correctly,
state the name of it.
I didn't.
Eldritch Nightmares.
You did not.
Yes.
Eldritch Nightmares.
Eldritch Nightmares.
Yeah.
I'm good at things sometimes.
You're good.
Eldritch Nightmares, which is very much Call of Cthulhu, which was we were playing that in Realms of Cthulhu, which was a Milo help.
Savage World system.
Savage
Worlds, yes.
Yep.
Milo, how you've changed.
It's a
Sorry.
D12.
Yeah.
It's a D12 system, so you almost never roll a D20 in it.
So, we were playing that in Realms of Cthulhu, and then we decided, because we've been playing a lot of other Powered by the Apocalypse systems, that hey, this actually works a lot better for how we do things, because we like roleplay.
Yes, we do.
RPGs.
That is a very, very resounding statement. We very much, if you watch any of our games and you watch any of our streams, we tend to definitely go by love the role-playing aspect of it, try to bring the characters to the forefront. If we have to make some dice rolls, and if we have to do something like that, that's secondary. So hopefully that doesn't, people that are watching can totally roll with that, and it's good, because that's what we're hopefully there for. You're hopefully there to be engaged with those characters in the story that they're trying to tell. But yeah.
Yeah. Which you, 3LC, got to run through my first Vampire Chronicle.
Yes.
Which was SeaTac by Night, and that is a game that is one of our home games, but we are doing little side games in the community for that. But where you all did so fantastic on your role playing that there was very rarely a time where I made you roll dice to convince people. One of the members of the collective who does not join our streams was playing a gangrel named Devlin.
Yeah, I love that one.
There was a 15-minute speech that he gave to the Seneschal that I was just like, no, you get this.
You get
no.
You didn't have to make a persuasion roll.
That was a beautiful fucking speech, and I'm not going to no. There is no way that wouldn't move anyone. I'm gonna go cry in the kitchen now and get some coffee. So we'll work on that deal.
We need an
that you just
break.
made. We need an emotional break, which is important. Fucking check in. We play very dark games, so there's times where we're all sobbing on stream.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, is this role play? Is this? And so you just thumbs up, We have chats going on in the background. It's memes. It's all memes.
It's all
letting you
memes.
know right now. It's all memes.
It's
You're
all
not
memes.
actually missing anything except for
meme.
us roasting each other.
See, what's bad is the ones that I cry in the most, I have to get up at 8 o'clock the next morning to run a stream by 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, Em, how was your night? I cried.
It's all memes.
All my players.
The meme
Is that
economy
different?
spikes.
Is that different from how you cry in every other stream that you're in? Thanks, guys. I appreciate it so fucking much.
In which your players are then feral. Yes. Those feral players. Oh goodness, yes.
So those check-ins are important. Just like, hey, we're gonna pause real quick. Everybody good? Okay, let's move on.
Good headspace. Always.
Good headspace. You don't want to. That's why real life comes first. Is important. You want to make sure you're in a good headspace because you don't want things to bleed over. Bleed is never a good thing.
Exactly.
Say it with me. Bleed is never
a good thing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Bleeding is a bad thing, whether it's a game
Or your body.
not bleed. You know, let's just not bleed.
Is this our stab wound? No.
Half of it.
Good point, though. We do have, speaking of the community and upcoming one-shots, we definitely are still doing stuff and things going on in there. We will be presenting more in our community as the new year starts. And got another Hunter one-shot in the works down the road. We definitely hope to see Petra back in the mix.
This is called Waking Nightmare.
Yeah.
Actually, Petra doesn't die tonight in my home game.
I'm so excited. I will be guest starring, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
I'm concerned.
Nah, it's all good.
I mean it out of love.
Yeah, I know. It's concern out of love. But yes, we do have a Hunter one-shot coming up. The first one we did, of course, is on our YouTube channel, so go check it out. It was fantastic. Everybody did a wonderful job.
Feral.
Yeah,
We were
wonderful
feral.
job. Everybody was fantastic. All our community players really came together in a wonderful way, including Starshard here as well. So.
Yeah, we got my husband on there for once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a blast, by the way.
Okay, but
Yes.
Jack is the fucking just. Jack is the human's human. Like,
It's the humans.
Let me fuck shit up. Let me fuck shit up.
Earth is for the
Earth
humans.
is for the humans.
That's the move for him. Yeah.
Petra and Doug were like the boomers of like, I'm ready to get this shit over with. Can we go get a fucking drink?
Hunting them cougars, you know.
Cougars.
The cougar jokes, and no one knew Milo. Except 3LC knew that
That was the best because
it's so funny.
while I make Hunter organizations for my games, I'm not big on Hunter really. So you know, I got to sit in with the planning sessions for 3LC and Milo.
I wasn't allowed to.
I know, 'cause you're a player.
It was sad.
You were a player. No spoilers, unless
spoilers.
it is something that.
Right.
No, what I
There's a
realized
difference between
once-
surprises and something that will totally change the dynamic of a character's story. Yeah.
No, when I realized who was who, you could
Is
just
the
watch
sun
my
flashing you?
face.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so
You could see
worth-
my face die, and I was dying a little inside. I almost cried because most of the vampires in that is I have actually played at the table with these characters. I was at a coterie with these people, and I'm just like, this hurts. I gotta kill my aunt. Like literally,
Auntie Milo got blown up by Doug. If he's lucky, he rolled again. Otherwise, Milo would have torn him apart.
Yep.
Jack and Alice, who was currently being led off by the Pied Piper.
It was a good old time. It was a
great
grand old time.
But yes, for sure, we will definitely be having obviously more one shots, more community engagement, but stuff that's fun. We also have community members doing things in there, so go check it out. We also have a link to our Discord, of course, and the Twitch, our Twitch profile here. So feel free to join on in. Make sure you just abide by the guidelines and don't be crazy. And
basically, what the community boils down to is don't be a dick and be nice to each other, and like. That's it.
That's it. But yeah.
That's TikTok.
Yep, and announcements for games come up as we have the time and availability to run the one-shots, and like 3LC said, we do encourage community members to run their own games and invite people within the community, because it is a community of nerdy gamers who just want to play games. So we have like a looking for group, we have a bunch of that, like we have everyone wants to play games. So if you want to play games and you haven't found anybody, the Figment Collective.
Strike it on up. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, the only thing that we can mention about like what Az mentioned earlier about the whole Spelljammer and the whole D&D thing, will be forthcoming with something about that. But I can say for certainty that we'll be continuing alternative systems and other systems, and continuing with those types of games and trying some stuff out, even if it's just a few episodes of something, see if it's something we like, something we jive with. A wonderful example of that was Az's fantastic Monster of the Week game. So which is an additional season that will be coming up. We will have a season 2 of that is in the works. The first season of Monster of the Week, of course, is on our YouTube channel. Highly recommend checking it out. It was a blast.
I'm glad you guys had fun. That was fun to run. Now, Monster of the Week is a Powered by the Apocalypse system in which you all play monster hunters. Because I'm me, I made it weird. Basically, you have a bunch of hunters who are in a town full of monsters who are not as monstrous as others have been. Yeah, I'm looking at several of you. It's
like in the Angel TV series where it's the bar where all the demons hang out with the people, and then it's just expanded to an entire town.
Oh yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, I grew up in this town. I would know. Oh Lord, have mercy. It was weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm playing an actual hunter.
Yeah. Thanks for staying true to the name of the game.
I followed the rules.
You understood the assignment.
Philo understood the assignment and created this fantastic backstory for your character. And that's how I run games. Is I take the characters themselves and incorporate them into the game. I basically make a very janky popsicle structure that is the overarching plot, and then we fill it in with character story because, well, it's your guys' game. I made this for you guys.
Exactly.
So that was one of the things is we had to talk about how this works. And for Monster of the Week, it's the campy B-movie CW romance.
Yep.
Ridiculousness.
Okay, here's the thing though. Ness was trying to be a hunter, but she had to deal with fucking Dylan and then Holden being Holden. Holden being Holden, the grumpy old man.
He's a grumpy old man who wants to be the hunter that Fallon is, and well...
Fallon is an orphan who's had years and years of adopts orphans.
You know those orphans, they just get the best. Those orphans just get the best opportunities, don't they?
No!
Fallon has never been hugged. It's fine. We're not questioning it.
That's not true. Jesse used to hug Fallon all the time.
I know.
Orphans, the way orphans work out in our games, they're just going to take over the respective gaming world someday. They deserve it.
I now have an idea for a one-shot. Okay.
And one thing you'll notice in our games, absolutely notice in our game, Gregory, for some reason. Yep. That is a reoccurring character that just takes on different roles and different levels of competency.
Yep.
We have reoccurring names and game themes, and one of them is, it is my goal to have a Gregory in every fucking Figment Collective game. I've succeeded so far.
He was also in the Hunter game. Gregory was the one driving the van.
I just sat there like, God damn it.
Boy.
I was like, God damn it, it's Gregory.
Rolled so well for him to escape being shot. And I was like, why the This motherfucker can't do shit for Elizabeth,
so
but
beautiful.
gets away.
Would we like to explain who Gregory is, Milo?
M's husband is fantastic. He was like, he was shooting at their van and everything was great.
No, I can't wait for Jack to come back for part 2. Jack was magnificent. But anyways, yeah, so Gregory started as, when I first started playing with essentially what is now the Figment Collective, it was as in 3LC in their home, and my first game was supposed to be a one-shot. And my character, who was a hot dumpster fire because I had no idea how to build a character at the time, she turned out great, but like I had no idea what I was doing. Ended up making her a Toreador named Elizabeth, had a underwhelming retainer. And so what happened was, when he came up as I have this resource, Az was like, well, what's his name? I was like, Gregory. and the shenanigans of Gregory ensued.
Because we did talk about how Gregory worked and like mechanic wise what you want to do, because you just started playing vampire. So Gregory ended up becoming a ghoul.
Yes.
Who was underwhelming.
He's very underwhelming. And again, adult themes. So like basically he is a dealer who is not very good at it. So the Toreador kind of took over his business and is basically helping him be a better dealer, which she benefits from as she is a consensualist. So she uses these people's issues to be like, hey, make deals with me. And then she gets them clean and sticks them in her basement and questions choices.
They have very nice apartments down there, and you know, it's only horrifying when you think about it.
Exactly. So don't think about it.
Don't think about it.
But
Elizabeth does.
Yeah, fantastic. So no, but that's the origin of Gregory, and yeah, we have
the first one.
Wonderful amount of,
because then it became like, what if we had a competent Gregory? What if we had an old man Gregory? What if we are all Gregory? Because
I already got competent Gregory coverage, because that's Cullum. I'm just kidding.
Cullum is the most competent of ghouls.
Ed is a close second.
Ed's a dick.
Need I remind you what Ed did to Claire? Need I remind you he made her cry for no fucking reason?
That's
for
not
no reason.
That's not the worst thing Ed did. No. Fucking Claire
is the worst thing Ed has done.
Woo!
Ed makes everybody cry.
Ed makes everyone cry. No,
Ed.
Oh gosh.
Okay, that's bias.
Okay. Ed, and I want to be super clear. Yes,
as a character, love Ed. Yeah, as right. Someone, like as a player, love Ed. Right. As a character, fuck that guy. He keeps on fucking me over.
All right, what do you want to say about Ed?
Oh no, I just wanted to be super clear about Ed. Ed was a cautious experiment because he was the first SPC that I introduced into a game that had a disability, and of course I wanted to be respectful of that and not, they were not an issue with the character because of that. It was just part of them, and I think it worked out actually really well, because I do actually like to do games where there is a diversity and an inclusiveness that is done in an obviously respectful and tasteful manner. So that
it was well done.
So that's just something to consider also for everybody else who's out there doing games. Of course, M portrays Petra in Hunter games as in a wheelchair, and that
it's gruntled, has a cane,
and it's fantastic. I love being able to have those types of representation in games. It's fantastic. So just wanted to put that out there. But yes, Ed is a dick. So there you go.
Okay, here, the parameter was I'm going to take, and since you are in fact dying, I'm going to give you a set amount of time, so you get to have your wedding to your boyfriend, and you get to say goodbye to the people you love. And then he went, you know what? I like being alive. Fuck you. There's like,
oops.
Being a ghoul is a terrible, terrible thing. And
is.
Ed's like, yeah. And Zaren's like, and so we're done. And Ed went, nah.
Nah.
We hurt Zaren's ghoul feelings all the time because
Yes.
Milo ghouled 2 nerds in 3LC's game because she felt bad, and she treats them very well because she feels bad.
You did?
She did.
With smoothies.
So bad.
With smoothies.
That is another reoccurring theme you'll notice in Figment Collective games. Players are very, very proficient in abducting people.
Also, Milo and I seem to have a thing with falling out of windows.
Yes.
Windows.
Falling out of
Windows
windows.
Every friggin' time our characters try to go out a window. Fuck it up. I don't understand.
Child locks.
Windows, child locks, yep. Oh gosh, doors.
Sniffing people. Sniffing
comes up again.
Morello
Oh,
is the inside thoughts out loud.
What was it he said? The Morello is if intrusive thoughts were a character.
Yeah,
something along
Thoughts were a character.
Those are on the YouTube channel, aren't they? The one shots.
No.
I think the one that we did with Vera the Bono, we did not record that one, but I think we did record the one where Morello was guesting.
Because the internet was real bad.
No, we tried.
That's right.
The internet was
I lived out in the middle of nowhere on the last house on the left.
Yeah, that was when you were at your last house on the left residence, and unfortunately you had poor internet, and so we couldn't.
Right.
I think we
there's no context for this. Milo ran her first vampire game, in which we had a guest star, which was our friend. And he played a Bruja, which is the clan that they were Philosopher Kings. Now they're a bunch of fuck the establishment thugs.
Most of the time.
There are exceptions where they're like, did you know we're Philosopher Kings? Yeah. No fucking no. That was my Mick feelings. Anyway,
Avery.
Bright yellow tracksuit, like
oh yeah,
Bruja that came in and kept sniffing people, and Morella was if intrusive thoughts won and were a person.
I spoke to my friend about that, and that is literally what he said about the character. Yeah. These are if your intrusive thoughts, your very private thoughts, were a person.
He almost got Claire killed. I should have shot him while I was on the porch. I should have shot him.
That was because of Vaughn too. Because Vaughn was like, "You can do anything but your mind to."
Oh gosh.
My damn sire causing problems. My damn sire.
Oh gosh, yes.
God damn it,
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate
in the car compactor.
Yep. It's unfortunate that we didn't get that episode recorded, but yes, there's fun times, lots of fun stories, lots of cool stuff, and so we do have a lot planned.
Make more. I know that this has been a tough year for everyone. I say on the 3rd fucking week of January. So once everybody is in a good headspace and has time and everything's not going crazy, we'll start to announce those community one-shot things. Yes. The next one is going to be CTAC. So I'm shooting for February, but we'll let everybody know like a week in advance before.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we're going to get to have a fun little party.
Yeah.
That never goes wrong when it's a bunch of kindred in the room together.
I'm having flashbacks of the Shiggles game that we had earlier this week.
Yeah.
You guys just need to stop stealing shit. And when the Ravna stops stealing shit, it's a problem.
Okay,
here's
the
still whatever.
Ellie's problem, because she is the philosopher and the knowledge side of Bruja, if there is knowledge in front of her, she's gonna fucking take it. That is Ellie's problem.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought Ellie's problem was Carver.
Well,
That too.
There is that too.
Just gonna watch Blade with some beer.
And on
It's
the
their
PS5,
third
they
date.
stole
Ask
from the
Carver.
mob.
Yeah.
Well, on the
Actually,
PS5, they stole. Yep.
So we talked about it. Canonically, Ellie and Carver are together.
Aww.
Aw.
That is her idiot.
Romance. It's a problem.
Yeah. Carver's her idiot.
Wonderful.
Carver,
At
of
least
course.
the rent will be cheaper.
Yep.
I
Carver, of
say
course.
as
Yeah.
I own the entire condo.
We got Quispy at the end of that. Real Quispy.
I love when time gets fucked with.
And as 3LC was trying to say, Carver.
Oh, Carver is a member of our community. Goes by Keenan, and they're fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, Carver is the character. Keenan is the friend.
And several folks probably watching this stream or happen to stumble upon it probably know who he is. So yeah. So if you see this, hello. Yeah. So, but yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff planned. We'll tackle a whole bunch of different genres. We're looking forward. Of course, we'll keep up with all the vampire stuff. Definitely the changeling stuff. As mentioned, we're stepping into some mythos-based stuff with powered by the apocalypse systems, and if we go to something that's fantasy-oriented, like a D&D style game, we'll probably
I have a suggestion.
We'll be looking at
Quest.
other quest system. Yeah. So
Well, and I plan a Deadlands, which is Savage.
Yes.
It's the Savage World system, and it's not fantasy, but it's basically fantasy Western.
yes.
So it's got elements of fantasy in a almost Western, Wild West style setting.
Mhm. But yeah, we're definitely going to be exploring various genres and looking at a lot of good systems out there that are out there, quite honestly. Yeah, Deadlands. Thank you for the reminder for that, for Milo. Deadlands, Savage Worlds based system, fantasy Wild West. Definitely going to be something coming up down the road after a little ways, because we got our season 2 of Changeling the Lost. We've got I think we're going to do a second arc of Eldritch Nightmares, I believe, on Sunday.
I get to play.
Yeah, gonna do a second arc of that. After that, and then we'll have some other stuff coming up, like Deadlands or
Don't rest your head.
Don't Rest Your Head, Monster. Yeah, Don't Rest Your Head.
Yes.
Monster of the Week season 2, which is lovely looking.
Now there's a theme to certain games we play. Don't Rest Your Head is another horror game that you definitely need to be in a good headspace to play.
Absolutely.
Don't Rest Your Head is essentially you are a character with insomnia. You are awake. And because you are awake, you end up piercing the veil, essentially. So you go out of what they call the city slumbering into the mad city, which is where those who are awake go. It's a world that is parallel. And it's basically, it goes off of dream logic, like it goes off of nightmare logic, like things don't make as much sense. Everything is just slightly to the left of reality, where you might recognize a location, but the sign has a different letter in it, or the colors are wrong, or you put your table by the window in your dining room, and now the table is in the living room instead. It's all just slightly off from what reality is. And it is a very, very heavy game that covers a lot of very heavy topics.
Yes, that is a really good point to mention. But it is very fun. It's very fun and very cool. But yeah.
And while tabletop games are, or should be, a tabletop game, like a group that you are playing with, should be a safe space for you. End of sentence.
Yep.
I thought you were going to continue with that, so I was just like, okay. Then
I was trying not
I'm like,
to
okay,
swear.
cool. Oh,
This is, I guess, as needs to remember that the amount of words that come out of my mouth that probably aren't appropriate should stay as inside thoughts. So that's an end of sentence. It should be a safe
Okay.
space
All right.
where
Well-
you can take it, you can explore things that you wouldn't normally. I do not recommend, though, for something that's don't rest your head. Tabletop games aren't therapy,
nope.
Mm-mm.
so
My suggestion: don't play something unless you actually have already worked through it or worked through it enough that it is safe and comfortable for you to do so.
It's a fantastic, fantastic point. Thank you.
And make sure you're telling your storytellers or your DMs or
Or your
GMs,
GMs.
keepers, or whatever your game calls. If there is topics that are uncomfortable for you, because if they are a good storyteller, they will respect that boundary, because every
Yes.
player is going to have different levels of comfort and different things that are triggering to them. So
Mhm.
you want to make sure that everyone's on the same page with certain things. With our own games, I have a couple of things that I have a problem with, and our lovely storytellers always warn me, and I just deafen during those sections, and someone lets me know when I can rejoin, and we've worked that out so that I'm not uncomfortable, but everyone else can still play. So just work things out with your players and storytellers if your levels of comfort are different.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, in our group, all of our safety checklist sheets are public to one another, so we do not accidentally cross any other boundaries on accident while in this.
which we need to do the check-in and update for that soon. But like as Milo was saying, you don't want to have an after-game session where everybody's super upset.
Yes.
Instead, we do things like there is a particular scene that we did for our CTAC game where it was like, "Hi, Milo, I'm about to describe something. I need you to deafen." And the conversation afterwards wasn't, "Okay, I'm very upset by this." It was, "All right, so while I was deafened, I was still watching you guys talk, and I want you to know how hilarious it was to sit there and watch you, like, describing this thing with your hand gestures while everybody was reacting. Like, that was fun for me."
Yeah, it was.
Right.
And then
'Cause
it was fun for me because I had no context except wild hand gestures. It was
Right.
hilarious.
I mean, there's
But
been
what's-
times that Milo and I
but what's of course good about that is that the actual content of the session, the point and the gist of what was relayed in that scene can then be informed of the player in a manner that's a lot more palatable, and not and addresses their concerns in the consent sheets and the safety checklist that Em just mentioned. Always good tools. Please utilize those tools in a lot of the games that we play.
And so basically how we handled that is there was a brief description on the side that did not violate any of Milo's boundaries, which was, "Hey, this is a mural about a scene that happened that involved these people, and what you get out of this is this person is dead."
But yeah,
Yep, I
But,
didn't get all the details of the painting, which I am perfectly all right with.
but you
I had
got
already been warned that it was it would be upsetting.
Yes.
exactly. But you get the information you need, and then you can
We get the
continue as your
information.
character. Yeah.
And then everybody had fun. The people who wanted to hear the description of the mural got it. Those that didn't, afterwards. And afterwards, we got to have a fun conversation about it instead of,
Blech.
"All right."
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. So, but yes, I think we're probably heading to where we can do some wrap up, do some closing remarks.
Did we
if there-
want to discuss any solo TTRPGs before that?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Because last, I almost said date night, but it wasn't, because we decided to hang with the fam. And we got to sit around and play 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, which
is-
I don't have it. I was saving up for it, but we got to sit around the table and go through this solo TTRPG. But we got to take in basically, even though it's solo, we got to sit around and do it together.
we did it like a community. We
Yeah.
turned it into a group game, even though it is a solo
There
game.
are there are a couple ways we've done it with a couple of other games, like The Wretched. Like we will sit in like a voice chat with each other around a table,
Yeah.
and we'll draw the cards and we'll follow the prompts and we'll do what the book itself says, but we'll do it together. So somebody might be in control of the Jenga tower, someone might be in control of writing down the journal entries, somebody might be in control of drawing the cards or rolling the dice, and we do it together. And you can also build the story together with solo RPGs like The Wretched and 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, where you can all decide to contribute to the one character and discuss it if you want.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's perfect. Yeah,
collective storytelling, like we do with Wander Home.
Starshard Stories, of course, has a 1,000-Year-Old Vampire series on her channel.
Yeah, it made it to 2 parts because I made it to the part in the book it says, "Oh, the game ends," because I rolled it so much, and I was just like, "Oh, I did the quick start guide version of it." There, and I will state this: the author has stated there is no wrong way to play this game at all. You play it how you want to play it. The author is really nice. But yeah, every Wednesday I have an episode that I drop for any solo TTRPG that I am playing. Actually, the first episode of The Wretched drops on Wednesday, so...
Nice. Please go check that out. Excellent content.
What was the one we played with you, Milo, at Gen Con, Avery and I?
You guys actually played The Wretched with me at Gen Con.
Okay, that was Wretched? Okay.
We've also played The Quiet Place, which that one's together in the same room.
Quiet Place
we have
is
a very...
awesome.
It's a
We're so bad at it!
The Quiet Year. Sorry, I named off a movie. The Quiet Year, and our year is very loud.
Yes.
Yes,
Quiet
let's
Place
not
movie,
confuse
Quiet Year.
people, though.
Quiet Year game. Quiet Place is
Quiet Year.
its own thing.
It's a movie. It's different. It's not the same thing.
Yep.
And we played that. The Quiet Place is a movie.
Yes, The Quiet Year is basically you sit down together and you build a world in a town. You're supposed to take turns and do it individually. However, because we're us, we play The Quiet Year very wrong. We play it very wrong, but we have a good time.
Okay.
And then one of the things that we're going to start doing is
Yes.
Go ahead. Now that you have an opportunity.
The last game that I feel that we were at least going to kind of mention, we had a blast playing it when we did, is The Zone. And that is, you can buy it in board game form or you can play it online. If you just look up The Zone game, you'll find it. You can play it online with your friends and you build a story of going into a ever increasing zone of weirdness that is slowly encompassing the world, and basically just know you're not coming back. If you've read or watched read the book or watched the movie Annihilation, it is very heavily based on that. It is immensely fun. Highly recommend checking it out.
Oh, it's a good suggestion.
Yes,
it really is.
Yes, and then we also play Wander Home.
Yep.
Which we got to explore that a little bit.
So much. I heard about your character, Nick, and I'm like, yay! I have the wheelchair lemur, so it's just like, oh,
Crow Boy,
One
Wing Crow Boy,
Raven. Crow Boy. Raven.
It's a Raven.
You went to Raven. Yes,
the Crow was up one.
My notes. That's what my notes mentioned. Yes,
yeah.
All fantastic suggestions. Wander Home is amazing.
And that's collaborative storytelling.
Yes.
That you don't roll dice; it's all RP.
Yep.
And honestly, that's how you can play a lot of games, depending on
your
how your group runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk
Good
things
point.
out. It's how Nordic LARPs run.
That's true.
So,
but yeah, anything else we want to cover? Mention anything else we possibly missed?
be kind to yourselves, or eldritch horrors will find you and make you. This is not a threat.
Oh, okay.
M's like, are you threatening me?
Oh, actually, next Friday, you're going to see me at 2 places.
Okay.
If we're having anything going on next Friday here, we're at the same time, kind of, because we run around 11, and the game's still going to be going around at 11. I'll be on the Cantrip cast. We already pre-recorded it. The first episode of Power Rangers Gamma Rangers airs at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome.
On the Cantrip Cast YouTube. I am playing a character trope that I normally do not play. Surprise! I'm not the mother of the group this time.
Shock.
Yeah. And,
shock face.
this Friday, we will be doing something
Yes.
But we don't exactly have a specific thing yet. We are still discussing it, but we will let you know when we know.
Yep.
And if you know, you could let us in on the secret first about what we decide. Because I'm going to find you, wizard who controls time and space. I'm going to find you. You owe me.
If you're trying to set a trap, you need to be a little more discreet about it, okay?
I'm not discreet. I'm angry.
Perfect. All right. I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone
Thank you for
being
joining
here.
us.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta go traumatize my hunters.
I'm gonna go watch an epilogue for Are We Dead Yet? Because I was not part of that. So I'm gonna see who decided to do what and how much I get to cry during the last epilogue that we have not yet recorded.
But yes, thank you to everyone in the community. Thank you to everyone who watch this now, watch this later.
Yeah.
Everybody have a fantastic, hopefully good day, night, whatever in your time zone.
Happy time zone.
Happy time zone.
Good existence in this particular section of the universe.
Exactly.
Or whatever one you're a part of.
Exactly.
Hearts!
Hearts!
Can we make them dance?
Make them dance.
Welcome to the collective.
Welcome
you
to the
find
collective.
it here or on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.